welcome to the review show. My name's Austin. Black Panther Wakanda Forever is the next MCU movie. Namor is on a warpath and he wants Wakanda to join him to fight the land people, and if they don't, they are considered as enemies, while Wakanda is also dealing with the loss of T'Challa. The MCU movies have been recently going downhill for me. I haven't really been enjoying them ever since after Endgame. They just kind of start dragging. They're like in that phase where like they are trying to grasp and keep on going. And it's just like Shang-Chi was pretty good. Spider-Man No Way Home obviously was really good. But you know, there's like sprinkles. There was like sprinkles of good MCU movies. But this year, it's been like a flat slate, and so I was kind of somewhat worried for Black Panther Wakanda Forever because they had a huge task on their hands with this one. Like with the loss of Chadwick Boseman, I can't say his name at all. I'm sorry if I messed that up, but yeah, they really had a hard task on their hands because this was written before his passing, and it's just like they had to rewrite around and somehow tell the story that they wanted to tell, just without the Black Panther, without T'Challa in it. And I think they succeeded very well. They really did a great job at this. Ryan Coogler, who directed the first one, did an awesome job. I can't praise him enough for what he has done with this. I wasn't a huge fan of the first Black Panther. I thought the narrative was a little bit messy. That final act was also like very heavy CGI. That fight was just looked like a PS2 video game. It didn't look good, and it's just like it's not gonna really hold up. With this one, I really like the narrative. I really like that they, sadly, with the passing of with Boseman, they had to write off T'Challa, and they work it very well. And it's not like the main storyline. They don't they don't use his death as like the vocal point, but they use the message of like loss in a way of how to move our characters, how to move these characters in the next phase of the MCU, and how they're dealing with the loss of their king, and basically this their biggest defense of Wakanda, it's just gone. And so it's like, how are they gonna deal with that? And they do so well with it, and you get this, and you feel what the characters are going for. What's her name? Lisa Wright, who plays as Shuri, gets like a vocal point in this movie. That was a side character, becomes basically the main lead. Does so well. She holds up this movie very good, and she really performed. And it's just something that can't imagine how she felt when she was basically handed the torch, and to basically take on the lead of the movie, and not in a way that she probably expected would happen. And she does a really great job, which I saw her in a movie called like the Silent Twin Sisters. She was also good in that. I'll put a review up after that at some point. I meant to put that out before this, but I just never got around to finishing editing it, so that will go up at some point. But yeah, I've liked her in most of everything I've seen, and so she really does great stuff. And basically everyone does really good. I really like the fight choreography. Angela Besta, I'm probably saying her name wrong as well. She should win an Oscar for this. Like she really goes out. You feel her pain as this mother that lost basically her husband in the first movie, and in Civil War, and now grieving for her son as well. And it's just like it's so good. Like the performances from everyone is so well done. The only really big problem I have with this movie is Namor, it's Namor, right? he's definitely an MCU villain, that's for sure. It's just like, I didn't really get the reason why he hated the land people so much. Like his reason to, want to go to war doesn't really make any sense. Like there's like a scene where you probably understand why, but it's not enough for me to grasp on and get behind the character of like, okay, I get it, I understand, let's do this. Well, not really let's do this, I kind of agree with you type of certain stance. And so it's like, it kind of felt a little rushed there. The movie was really long for certain parts of the movie, because like they were trying to give everyone like a piece, like have a somewhat of a part in the movie, like even more side characters getting more dialogues, more scenes. The CIA dude from the first one comes back into this one in some parts, and like there's some side of that where basically the MCU trying to connect certain things. This is not like your ordinary MCU movie either, and so if you're expecting like oh, this is the big setup to the next like movie or whatnot, it's not that. Not a lot of the MCU movies have been doing that recently anyways, but for this movie I understand why. But they do it so well that it doesn't feel disconnected from the MCU itself. Like that you feel like this is still in the MCU than like Thor Ragnarok or Doctor Strange into the multiverse of madness. Those very felt like they're basically on their own, but not in a good way, because they just fell flat. And this one's like, it is on its own, but you still feel that MCU likeness in this movie. But yeah, it's a very more serious, in-depth of like feeling type of movie, and the jokes are still there. I hope that they learn from this, like they start doing more of movies like this, like moving their characters forward and taking them a little bit more serious, and like having a more of emotional attachment in these movies. Because even though that they were kind of put into the situation of this not impossible task, but one of the most hardest tasks in movie history, and to deal with like of a passing actor, and somehow writing that into the script, but where it's not insulting, or feels like, okay, we have to do it this way now, or like make it the vocal point. And so I want them to be like, okay, this movie is good for a reason, and not just because that we had to do it. Let's do it more like this because people really like the storytelling. I want Marvel to see that way as well. And so, but yeah, there's still certain problems. I found like the second act a little bit like too boring to just cut out, like certain parts, certain dialogue scenes as well. Some of the certain jokes didn't land for me as well. But yeah, overall, I think this is a great movie. You should go check it out if you haven't already. I'm also sorry for the late review. I've been really busy, and so hopefully you guys enjoy like my thoughts of this. I will be out of town upcoming this weekend, so you won't get to see. I won't have a review for The Menu, or and I believe Spirited with Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell. So next week for Thanksgiving's weekend, you have about 6 reviews coming out. So be prepared for that. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm gonna give Black Panther: Wakanda Forever a B-. Go check it out. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and like always, I'll see you guys in the next review. Bye guys.